Hey, how you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. This is a conversation with Mike Barron, but so far Mike Barron has not showed up. He hasn't responded. Um, I know Mike Barron is doing the whole press tour, so I didn't want to keep people waiting. So I just decided to just go live because it looked like a couple of people were just waiting and hanging out. So when Mike shows up, he'll pop in. We'll talk. But so unless if Mike doesn't show up, here is an invite if anybody wants to come in and talk with me, and maybe you'll talk with Mike if he shows up. So here you go. Here's an invite. That noise of tape that you hear in the background is my wife is frantically. We are rewrapping boxes because we had a postal mishap. I've been going on Saturdays and dropping off stacks and boxes of heroic tales out to people. And one of the guys was like, you can get boxes from the post office. Just go to the website and order boxes. So that's what I did. And I got 50 priority sized boxes. And then I proceeded to put ground shipping on it. And I scheduled a pickup. The guy was like annoyed. He's like, we'll come and pick that up for you. You don't have to keep coming down here and waiting online. So I scheduled the pickup. They took all the boxes. The next day, they brought them all back. I thought they messed up. Turned out I messed up. I put the wrong shipping on the boxes. So we are redoing them or repacking them and everything like that. 17 boxes. So if you got, it's only pint glasses because if all the Gemini mailers went out and everybody seemed to got them. The 17 orders that came back, they had pint glasses. When I didn't use these priority boxes, they went out fine. But when you use the postal boxes, you got to follow the postal box guy rules. And I did not know that. So live and learn. Another bump in the crowdfunding way. So let me address the chat. Jay Lucid, John racking up some awesome interviews. Yeah, I'm talking to myself over here. Mike is promoting. So I don't know if he forgot. I don't know if we got our times changed. This wouldn't be the first time that we had time change issues. And I think I had not time change, but time zone issues. So I'm sorry. I'll relabel this later on if Mike doesn't show up. Today, I got 3 sales for her. Look at my crazy hair. I just realized I look like a maniac. I'm the kind of guy that all of a sudden needs a haircut. Like yesterday, I didn't need a haircut. Today, all of a sudden, I need a haircut. So today, I got 3 sales on Heroic Tales. It's except for like when during the active campaign, it was a 2-month active campaign. Today was like my best day for sales. I think the good word of mouth is working, and thank you for it. Thank everybody for it. A bunch of people have messaged me and said that they were asking my permission if they could do a positive review of Heroic Tales. I was like, please do, please do. And I'm going to say this criticism. Is that okay? I'm like, dude, if you feel it's honest criticism, believe it or not, everybody says it, but honest criticism is constructive. And I could tell. I'm guessing that the criticism that anybody's going to have is probably, I'm probably going to be harsher on myself than you will ever be. So, it's, whatever. I don't want to hop on the criticism and the criticism problems we're having here. So until and unless Mike shows up, I figured I would do what you're reading. Let's do this. And comics and such like that. So Zach Tam wanted to know, this is the comment that made me realize I got to go live. There's people waiting. I like to flatter myself thinking that you're all sitting there with a bowl of popcorn going, is John okay? Is Mike okay? So, this is me responding. Mike, Praetor, how you doing? Praetor, what's up? I am having a blessed day. Oh, I clicked on it and then clicked on it again. I am having a blessed day. I went to work today. The day after Thanksgiving is usually a day off. But when you work for like Port Authority jobs, they dictate which days are off. So it's not like they could fire you or anything like that for not coming in. Look how dirty my mat is. This I just cleaned this last week. But so like out of a job of like 60 electricians, something like only 7 or 8 of us showed up. And since I was in my old spot for the week, handling the material, that they need this, somebody has to get it. So I joke around like I'm Home Depot on the job site. Nothing would get done if they needed stuff and I wasn't there to accept it. So I couldn't take the day off of the conscience. But it was good because I did nothing. You know what I did today? I worked on comic book strips and scripts rather, and I talked to people about ideas. That's what I did, and I got paid my full salary for it, so I can't complain. As always, cup of coffee, and I'm sorry for people, Mike Baron fans. I can't. I think Mike got the time zones wrong. So that means if he shows up during its clobbering time, that's awesome. Ordinarily, I'd wish for you to take the long weekend off, but I'm glad you're getting better. Yeah, I work this week. It's good money. Today was just an easy day, so what do you want me to say? Can't complain. I got bills to pay just like everybody else. I got bills to pay, and the multiplying, and I'm losing control. Hey, Student OG, how you doing? Hail chat. All right, so this is what you're reading. These are comics, and if Mike never shows up, I actually got a box of back issues, so I can do a back issue Bonanza. And then at 8:30, it's clobbering time. It's gonna be Hellboy from Mike Mignola versus Etrigan from the Demon from Jack Kirby. So again, that tape is my wife packing. I love that sound, don't you? I don't know. I love that. Okay, so these are comics that I've read since the last time I did What You're Reading. So we got some detective over here. This is I can't think of the TG. I forget who the artist is. But this is some Chuck Dixon. I talked about this a few times that my hard drive just shit the bed. Forgive my French. And I lost my database. It seems like everything else from my computer worked except for my comic book database. So I'm rescanning. And I got up to 56 boxes out of 100 or so, 108, I think. And I just ran out of steam. You can understand, I broke my neck. My wife wouldn't let me pick up boxes. And then I got really, really lazy. And now I got to go back and finish doing that. So while doing that, I found some comics that I was missing. And I'm missing some classic Chuck Dixon stuff. So I'm reading these for the first time. So I read this. This is more. This is a nice cover. But what year is this? This is 1992. So this is the 90s, but it's not quite the 90s yet, if you know what I'm talking about. Like each decade kind of takes like 2 or 3 years. Because really the 90s were only like 4. When we talk about the 90s comics, we're usually only talking about like 4 or 5 years. And I keep looking at my phone because I keep wanting to see if I'm missing a message from Mike Baron. Forgive me for bad etiquette. This is Phenomenova from Vaughn Coleman. I did a video on this yesterday. I really enjoyed it. I had a minor nitpick, criticism, and I think Vaughn kind of was like, yeah, I see your point. You know what I mean? Full disclosure, I'm friends with Vaughn. I hung out with them. Matter of fact, I think I hung out with Vaughn more than I've hung out with anybody in this scene. It's funny. I feel like I even told him, I was laughing. I'm like, I'm 56 years old. I'm hanging out with a 14-year-old boy. He's 26, but he looks young. I said, don't look right. But you young whippersnapper. But Vaughn's got an old soul. But this was really good. I recommend this. It did what comics should do in that it interests me in picking up the following issue. So there you go. Some unfair criticism has been leveled against that comic, and I don't want to hear it. It's just silly. It's stupid, and I think you guys know what I'm talking about. This is the Federal Bureau of Physics. It started out as Collider, and I don't know why, but I missed the last 3 issues. These heroic tales. I missed the last 3 issues, so I picked up the last 3 issues and I read them. Now, the problem was I remember liking it enough to get 21 issues, and then I kind of lost track of the last 3. So when I read these, I vaguely remembered the stories. Like the big reveal in the last issue probably wasn't a big reveal to me because I didn't have it like that information loaded in my noggin. You know what I mean? But I liked it enough to finish. And let's be honest, I was gonna finish it no matter, even if I didn't like it, because that's the kind of crazy person I am when it comes to comics. This is Heroic Tales. This is my proof copy. This is Michael T. Gilbert. I have an idea, guys. I thought of this idea. I'm going to take a copy, or I'm going to take like 5 copies of Heroic Tales, the Renzo cover, and I'm going to mail them to Daniel de la Silva in Brazil, and then he's going to sign it. And then I'm going to give him money to send it to Renzo in Mexico, and then Renzo's going to sign them. And then Renzo's going to send them to Oscar, who's like, a couple of hours away in Mexico, and then he's going to sign it. And then Oscar will send it to Bill in Texas, and then he'll sign it. And then I guess send it to Brian Bow, because Brian Bow does a page, and he'll sign it. And then Brian Bow will send it to Ron, and he'll sign it. And then send it to Matt Bauer, and he'll sign it because he did a page, and then send it to Fabrizio and sign it, and then send it to me, and I'll sign it. And I'll have 5 copies with everybody who worked on this comic. Nick X, I'll send it. Well, Canada, that's like $6,000 to send stuff to Canada. And if we all sign it, and then 1 copy's for me, and then maybe like, I don't know, auction off full comic. What do you think of that idea? What do you think of that idea? And who knows how long it'll take, because last time I sent something to Renzo, it took like 2 months. I can only imagine how long it'll take to go from Brazil to Mexico. And who knows if they'll even survive. But this was what I finished up for Sunday Comics. This is the Spider-Man Marvel team up. This was just so Mike Lailiola and written by Chris Claremont. Just a great story, to the point when this story was over, I was contemplating quitting Marvel Team Up. I liked this story so much that I just wanted this story to continue. Here's the proof copy of the Renzo cover. Oh, it's so good. I showed you the big error, right? This is what caused the comic to be late. Was I submitted the wrong file, and this page didn't have any writing. That and where is it? Where is it? I spelled Boss Moxie wrong right here. So I had to get this typo fixed. And there's still typos. So far, there's only one person who mentioned this was the last issue. This was 85. So far, there's only 2 people who mentioned the two typos that I noticed. I'm sure there's more. Is my ever-present copy of Villains and Vigilantes that I'm always reaching out for. I did a video on this. Maybe it's time to do another video. And I still don't see any messages from Mike Barron. Okay, so here's 20 and 21 of the Federal Bureau of Physics. The premise to this comic is a scientist discovered a way to use dark matter as a source of energy. So he was creating like free energy. But unbeknownst to him, he wasn't a villain. He was destroying dark matter. And because of dark matter being destroyed, physics was out of whack, because there's X amount of matter in the universe, and then changing the state of matter in the universe was changing the state of physics. It's kind of an interesting idea. It came out around the same time as that TV show Fringe. That my wife and I loved Fringe. If anybody knows that show, it was a 4-season show that unfortunately went to 5 seasons. I think it should have ended at 4. It would have ended stronger.
Noble's amazing.
But so this is like, and again, perfect example of show me something cool, and I'll show you a comic. I just realized I've been totally ignoring the chat. What does the chat have to say? Hey, John, where's Mike? Oh, Mike didn't show. I don't know if he got the dates mixed up, or if he's on the wrong channel right now. If it was Eastern Standard Time versus I think he's in Central Standard. I don't know if we got the time zones mixed, but he didn't show. So I did. I figured I'll just filibuster. Maybe he will show up. Maybe he won't show up. Who knows? But one of the things I did do is I put the link in the chat. I'll put a star on it. If anybody wants to come in and talk with me, while I just kind of felt bad because people were waiting for Mike, and then he didn't show. Time for a new computer, John. This is Paul Ferrantino. Paul Ferrantino is my friend. I don't know if you heard my wife making fun of Paul in the background, but he's one of the people over here that's Paul has been one of the player characters that I play D&D with, and his character Magnum makes a cameo in next issue. I sent him Renzo. Renzo already drew that page, and Oscar already colored that page, and I sent it to an image of it to Paul and my friend Jimmy and my friend Mike, because their characters are shown. Because it was funny, because when I made issue number 1, I didn't feel I had the right to include my friends' characters that we made up, because it's inspired by our role-playing game. And then they got mad that I didn't include any of their characters. Gray cloudy day. Good. Wow, that's a beard. That's a beard. Bless you too. K Ojo, happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, did you? I put a poll on Twitter. Do people like turkey? Because guys at work were telling me that they're not really fans of turkey. A couple of guys, they have seafood every year for Thanksgiving. A lot of lasagnas for Thanksgiving. One family was telling me that they go to Chinese food for Thanksgiving. I love turkey. I love turkey. I wouldn't mind having like turkey, a big Thanksgiving turkey like 3 times a year. But that's a lot of work, right? But my wife, she made it, it was just us, and we had a delicious turkey spread. This one is from Nightfall. Yes, Nightfall's coming. Question mark. What's going on with my computer? Oh, there we go. Okay. More like the 90s. Yeah, that was 92. Oh, wow. Great super sticker. Thank you. Great. I always get a little embarrassed, a little shy whenever I get like a super chat or anything like that, because I get them so infrequently. I don't know how to react. I got to get some sort of like video, or like some sort of like like a celebration. I got my copy of Phenomenova, but I haven't read it yet, which is one of the reasons I haven't watched. Yeah. I tried to do spoiler review. I only showed like the first 4 pages, and then I showed another page to show my silly nitpick. But and it was funny because it's what when I'm talking about comic, and then the creator shows up in the chat, you're like, ooh, Vaughn was watching. Okay, there's definitely something going on. I think my mouse battery's dying. Went over to my friend's house for the weekend. That's cool. Oh, cool. Kyojo, what is that? A light bulb? I dug Fringe. Yeah, my wife and I, we went to a comic convention, and they had a Fringe panel. I think that was the first Comic-Con was that the first Comic-Con you went to? No. But they had a Fringe panel. We had to sit through Josh Whedon's The Dollhouse panel to get good seats, and then we watched the Fringe panel.
And I got the autograph with John Noble.
Right, and my wife got John Noble's autograph, the guy who played the crazy scientist whose name Walter. I can't remember his last name. Matter and antimatter are interesting, especially since most of our universe is made out of matter. Yeah, well, if it was equal, our universe would collapse. Maybe there was more matter and some antimatter. They cancel each other out. Maybe you should reach out to Mike. I did. I sent him a message right before I went live.
Yeah, you waited a while.
Yeah, I waited a while too, but when I saw that Zachtan was waiting, I felt guilty. Face purple open box. I love turkey. Oh, is Mike responding? No, he's not. I'm getting spam messages. I thought that was from Mike. Makes decent lunch. Yeah, all the extra stuff. My father used to make the most incredible turkey salad. I'm sorry, Logic, if you're upset. But I will go and I tell you, he has a comic out right now called now I can't even think of the name of his comic, but it's Sherlock Holmes and Captain Nemo. Captain Nemo is one of my favorite fictional characters of all time. He's one of my top 5. I got Odin, I got Santa Claus, I got Captain Kirk, Captain Nemo, and Superman. Those are my 5 favorite fictional characters of all time. So I'm psyched to get Mike Barron's new comic. It's on Fun My Comic, and I think it's on Indiegogo. It's called Leviathan. It's Sherlock Holmes meets Captain Nemo, and I trust Mike to do Captain Nemo justice. He's never, well, I take it back. The original movie in the 60s, they did him pretty good, but they always, like the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, they did him dirty. He's supposed to be the ultimate anarchist. His ship is cool. The Nautilus is cool. Captain Nemo is supposed to be like I always say that I'm not a joiner. I don't like to join things. I don't like to join groups. Captain Nemo takes that to the nth degree. He rejects all nationalism. He rejects all religion. He rejects all political parties. but in that League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, they made him like a death worshiper. He worshipped Kali. You know, they made him a religious fanatic, which is not the character at all. Fringe is one of my favorite shows of all time. Yeah, I'm thinking about rewatching it. I only watched it when it came out the once, but I think rewatching it, knowing everything, would probably reward all the Easter eggs. I'm not the least bit upset. Oh, my mouse battery must be dying because I'm clicking and then clicking. I'm not the least bit upset. Okay, thank you. I feel bad, so I'm imposing my own emotions onto the words. This mouse is driving me crazy. I think it's this mouse port that is really caught, and I can't remove the camera. Captain Nemo is such a Sigma Chad. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. A Sigma Chad. I know like an Alpha Chad, but what is a Sigma Chad? Hail, Emily Kruger, the woman who may or may not be manufactured in a clone factory, because she's everywhere, simultaneously everywhere. So now I went through the chat. So this is Faust. This comic was a big deal when it first came out. This is like 89. And it's very graphically violent, very lot of nudity, very like it's everything I don't want to read right now. And to be honest, if this was to come out now, I wouldn't read it. The art is fabulous, really good. It was difficult to find, a lot of nudity, a lot of violence, but there's like 3 more issues, so I'm just finishing it, for the sake of completionism, because I'm a crazy person. The art is great. Just be buyer beware, that's all I have to say about that. Fire and Ice, this I might do an entire video on. I liked it that much. This is Bill Willingham, and Manco is the artist. It's based on the Frazetta paintings, and then based on the Ralph Bakshi, Frank Frazetta movie, Fire and Ice. It has nothing to do with Game of Thrones, but this is, I read 1 issue. I'm missing issue number 2, and then I have all the rest. So when I get issue number 2, I will be devouring this. I really, really like it. I cannot believe how much I'm liking Sword and Sorcery comics these days. This is Local Man. Oh, here's the next in the Marvel team up, Spider-Man and Nick Fury. I got to put these away. Just such a good story. If you watch my Sunday comics, you'll see what I'm talking about. This is Local Man. This is Tim Seeley, who is on my channel. This is the comic that inspired me to do a flip book. So you know what? I'm going to show you, for those of you who may or may not know what a flip book is. Okay, so you see, flip book. It's got a cover, and you open it up. And this is set in the 90s, so it's like 90s style. And then you flip. Well, this one's, I think it's set in the 80s, so they did like a black and white. It's kind of, and then the other side is set now, and then you open it up and it's more modern. I thought that was a good compromise. Like we talk about how in the indie scene people say they want criticism, but they don't really listen to criticism. Well, I listened. I named my comic Heroic Tales. I didn't name it The Patriarch. I named it, Heroic Tales, because every issue I wanted to tell a story of a different superhero. And people are like, but I like the Patriarch. He's a good character, And I realized I might be making a tactical error here if people are telling me they want this character, I should do. So every issue will have the Patriarch, a story, and then the secondary story will be another. So it's easy to do because it's going to be about 40 pages each. So I feel I can give you 2 complete stories in each issue. If I hit a stretch goal, I will tell a story about a villain. I'll do an Unheroic Tales too, but more about that after Christmas. This is not a good time to be launching a comic. But this I like. So he was a superhero in the 90s, all extreme and everything like that. They goof on that with the pockets and everything like that. But now he's washed up and he's back home, and now it's modern time, and he's not allowed to use his costume, his powers, or his names. So in the newspaper, it was just reported that Local Man saves the day, and that kind of becomes his new superhero name. This was Snowman by Matt Martin. Art is absolutely gorgeous. It took me a long time to read this because I got a little soured on all comics for some strange reason. And then when I read it, I was like, this guy could draw. I missed the Snowman comics in the 90s. This guy could. The problem is, it took me 4 years, and all they did was introduce me to something, and now I gotta wait another 5, 6, 7, 8 more years to actually get. This was just bringing up to speed the issue. Oh, thanks. I paid $35 to be brought up to speed. It took me 5 years, and that's gonna take me another 5 years to, you know what I mean? So, as much as I thought this art was amazing, I don't know much about Matt Martin. He's probably a good guy, but will I be there for issue 2? Not if it's all caps. Not if it's all caps. Here we got Rogue Tales again. The other proof. Interplanet. Look at this cover. It's just a glorious cover. So what is Interplanet? This is another comic that I should be more popular. It's an indie comic, and forgive me. Here was a variant cover of a snowman. It's Flash. It's like a Flash Gordon. So it's but it's a guy gets assigned to this planet, and he's like a sleeper agent. Like, I don't know if he's a good guy or bad guy, but then this planet is dull and lifeless, and he's a man of action, and he gets redirected to like this one tribe of like basically feudalistic people, and they have this super hot daughter, and he marries her, and like he kind of rekindles his action adventure. So I have no idea where it's going. I have no idea, and I love that. I love that when I have no idea where it's going. I always play a game called Beat the Writer, and I try to figure out the where the story is going. This one I have no idea, in a fun way. So I recommend this. Interplanet. If you go on Fund My Comics and look up Interplanet, you can find it. And I'm embarrassed because this gentleman's been on my channel. He's a good guy. It's a good comic, and I can't remember his name. So this is Batman beats up a Kamala Harris voter back in 1993. This is Sam Keith doing a cover. Look at that. That's like a super buff Batman. Look at that. Oh, let's address the chats. I'm sorry. What does this say? Admiral Rickover was a fan of the novels. That's why he named the first nuclear submarine Nautilus. I like I said, Captain Nemo is one of my favorite characters. If you read the Mysterious Island, it's about a group of castaways. They land on an island, and like they just rebuild civilization until they get rescued. Like I forget, like 12 people. And then they train a gorilla to help them. And then Captain Nemo saves the day, kind of thing. And it tells you the missing history of Captain Nemo. Excellent. It's a big, thick book, and Captain Nemo is in like the last 3 chapters. Actually, he's in the whole book, but you don't know it. I'm everywhere and nowhere all at once. That's because Logic Pinus doesn't exist. He's a computer algorithm. That's his real name, Algorithm. Interesting. What's interesting, Student OG? What's interesting? I let the I keep glancing at my phone because I keep hoping that Mike is messaging me. What's interesting? I've been ignoring the chat. So the movie came out during my senior year of high school. Which movie? Was I talking about a movie? Which movie was I talking about?
League of Extraordinary
Gentlemen. Oh, the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Yes. Yeah. It's a super flawed movie, but I like it. I like the comic. I love the concept. I love the story, but the art just, I don't like the art in League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. I'm sorry. It doesn't fit. They needed somebody a little bit more classic rather than Kevin Nolan, who drew it. Is too like abstract. The art just like, he's really good for that the Judge Dredd, future sci-fi and stuff, but like Victorian England, they needed somebody a little bit more traditional, if you ask me. How I understand it, Sigma is like an alpha wolf, but introverted instead of extroverted. Okay, this is the first I've ever heard it. First I ever heard it. Is that what you kids are saying? And again, my mouse. I don't know what's going on. There we go. Faust, Love and Damned, 2001. Oh, they brought it back? They brought it back? I did. That's the first I know about it. It's a good comic. Which comic? Faust? Faust? It's not bad. It's just not my cup of tea these days. It's a little too... back in 1989, I was like, whoa, this is violent. They got nudity. Nothing was like that. Now it's just like, God, I've seen it all, been there. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm more shocked when something's actually wholesome. One, how is the writing of Snowman? Great art with bad writing is a poster, not a comic book. Two, to quote Gordon, it should take you a year to make a comic book. That's just ridiculous. I think I answered that already. The art is flawless. But it was like an introduction, I don't want to wait. It shouldn't, it takes it took what's his name, Raphael, 3 months to do the Sistine Chapel. I know it's Michelangelo. I'm just being silly. Sam Keith's Batman. Yep, Sam Keith's Batman. I thought he meant Fire and Ice. Oh, Fire and Ice is excellent. Fire and Ice is excellent. I can't wait. I'm missing issue number 2. I have every issue. I think it's up to 7 or 8. I have every issue, but I'm missing issue number 2. So as soon as I get issue number 2, I'm gonna reread 1 to 7. I liked it that much. It was just, it's Bill Willingham. Bill Willingham is just, he's a great artist. He's a great writer. I don't think Bill Willingham gets enough credit for his art. I love his art. Here we got some more. Mike Netzler, Scott Hanna, and Chuck Dixon. So it's funny that I'm reading some of these Chuck Dixon Batmans for the first time. We got Spider-Man and the Black Widow. This was the first of this story. I like I said, I really, really, really like that story so much that I was gonna quit. What is he saying? I'm getting annoyed.
You want a new battery?
Okay. Okay, now my mouse isn't working at all. It's not the mouse, it's the port. I think it's going bad. Okay, maybe it was okay. There we go. I thought he meant Fire and Ice. Oh yeah, so Fire and Ice. It seems to be working now. Maybe I just have to unplug this little thing and plug it back in. Good. Yeah, Fire and Ice was a good movie. To me, that's the best Ralph Bakshi movie. Fire and Ice is the best Ralph Bakshi movie out of all of them. And I discovered Ralph Bakshi on his Lord of the Rings movie. Good evening, Yao Yang Zhao. How's everything? The Fire and Ice. The mouse. Paul's right. Maybe I do need just a new computer.
You have your laptop.
The Fire and Ice animated movie. Have you read Sojourn from CrossGen? I'm sitting on the full run. Me too. CrossGen was a comic company that I just didn't know anything about. It literally came and went while I think it was my second. How long did the company last? 2 years, 3 years? Because I was in Albuquerque in college when CrossGen came out, and I was the brokest I've ever been. So I just didn't see it. I paid no attention to it. I don't even remember when it came out. And now I've been buying CrossGen comics, and they're awesome. So I just got a full run of Sojourn, and it's sitting right here in this box beneath. So I haven't read it yet. You have this issue by that hack. How about this one? This one, I feel so mad because I love this cover. I love all the covers, but this one only sold like 10 copies, because I put it on Indiegogo. But the original Fun My Comic was 2 months, then Kickstarter was 2 months. So by the time I released this comic, I think all the mad rush to buy my comic was over. So this one got the short end of the stick. I feel so bad because it's so beautiful, but it's still available now. I just read Creepy number 11. Creepy number 11. Look at this. This is some Frazetta. And Creepy number 12. This one's in really good shape. This is really good shape. I just read Black Tiger, Hidden Dragon. This is another indie comic, and again, he was on my channel. It was good. It was good. It's about like two sisters, kung fu action, get revenge against my dojo kind of thing. Oh, here. This is an example of a drawing. I sent this to Oscar. This is Thunder Woman, one of the top 10 who are in the comic books that Eddie reads and Eddie is doomed. So this is my wonderful art. This is my art direction. This is what I send to, I send drawings just like this to Renzo. And, I drew a picture like this of the patriarch, sent it to Renzo, and he made what he made. I sent this to Oscar, and he made Thunder Woman the way. And this is Deadly Hands of Kung Fu, number 12. We got Roger Moore doing some Kung Fu action. These are funny because it's like half and half. It's half like prose and half comic, all black and white. But I love this because they have some Shang-Chi stories, and then they have George Perez's earliest Marvel work on Sons of the Tiger. So we got that. I'm going to stop this camera. I'll just remove that right there. And I read that. What? You read my comic? I wonder if Thunder Woman's thunder power emanates from her backside. Yeah. So I'm going to do this because it looks like Mike ain't coming. I'm going to check my phone right now. No messages from Mike. So I'll message him tonight. No hard feelings. Oh, I just got a confirmation. Patriarch has made it to Arizona to my friend Pete and my friend Allison. Been friends with Allison since 3rd grade. And I met her husband, Pete. And it's funny because I've been friends with Allison since 3rd grade. And then I meet her husband, Pete. And like within 20 minutes, we're like, Allison, would you be quiet? I'm talking to Pete. We were talking about heavy metal. We were talking about board games. Matter of fact, my YouTube channel was created in their living room. I'm just opening up a box right here because you guys don't need to see my address. And we got a back issue Bonanza. So I can continue doing this. Okay. Again, I just turned off the camera because I'm just getting rid of the packing slip because weirdos on the internet. Let's call it like it is. Weirdos on the internet. We don't need people showing up and taping super chats to my front door. You know what I mean? Because this ain't a place of business. This is you get shot at neighborhood. and we don't need that. We don't need that. So I'm just opening up all this, get rid of the packing slips. And this, oh good, the camera wasn't even on. This came like the first day of shipping, so I forget what's even in this box. So I will bring the camera back up. I'll do this magic power, move everything. As you can see, there's the cards. I put them in the bag. When I'm shipping. And if you are like Fabrizio Aiello of Horace H. Hoover, Luke Stone of Fun Like Comics, Daryl Wagner, these are the people whose boxes, like people who've been on my channel many times, they're the boxes that got returned. So I feel really bad about my buddy Mike. Their comics boxes got returned because I used the wrong box. So before I flip this over, Roger Moore. You're a fan of Roger Moore. You want to hear a weird confection? You want to hear a weird confection? A weird confession? I've never watched a James Bond movie. I've never been interested in James Bond. So maybe I keep saying that next time I'm out of work, I had 3 months to watch every James Bond movie. I still didn't. Okay, so this is officially now what you're reading is over, and now this is back issue Bonanza. So this is new comics. So we got FemForce number 38. Again, I used to call this my guilty pleasure, but then I realized I don't believe in guilty pleasures. Is this out of focus? If you like something, you like something. I had Bill Black on my channel. So what is FemForce? It was originally like public domain female superheroes cheesecake, but there's no nudity. You you could. I just made comic books. I just made Comicsgate drama tonight. That's okay. That's okay. That's the kind of drama. That's funny. That's funny. People are gonna. What does he know? He doesn't even read. Oh, I forgot about this. This package from Ariel Presti. I got to open up. I didn't want to open up new stuff because I told myself I couldn't read any new comics until everything was shipped. So I only read two I read that Phenomenova, and then I read those three FBPs. So here we got, and I'm gonna put the new comics over here. So here we go. So this was originally Phantom Girl, but then DC kept it, acquired the name, so they couldn't use Phantom Girl, so she became the Blue Bombshell. Let's see what else we got over here. Continuing with my Chuck Dixon, Jim Blant, Sam Keith cover. Oh, we got Killer Croc and Bane. I have to say, my first reaction is I don't really like this cover too much. What do you guys think? I don't really like that cover too much. East of West. This is pure obsessive compulsive disorder right now, because I don't like this series. But I every time I put it in an order for back issues, I get one more issue. So it's just Robert. It's Hickman. What's his name? Robert Hickman. It's Robert Hickman just doing what Robert Hickman does. You could just read every third issue and get everything out of it. It's just filler, the comic book. I'm an issue. Well, I read up to 25. I couldn't name any of the characters. It's world building. The comic. I mean, it's the art is really good. I really do like it. It's the same guy who's doing that Absolute Batman right now. The art is really good. But and I like Robert Hickman. He seems like, or Jonathan Hickman. I like Jonathan. He seems like a good guy. He seems like he's filled with ideas. But geez, he really needs some sandpaper to polish up his stuff. It's you could really do with every other issue. What does Logic find? I always like Logic Finder's comments. Sean Connery films are the best James Bond films. Once the Berlin Wall fell in 1989 and the Cold War ended, there's some things that, if you ask me, are products of their time. Like Fantastic Four movie has to be set in the 60s. It has to be set in the 60s. And then they have time machines. They go to space, through relativity, whatever. They come back in modern times, but like right now, making a comic book about making fun of woke things it's out of place. You know what I mean? Maybe if that comic came out 3 years ago, like it was supposed to come out, it would be relevant. But making fun of SJWs and woke stuff right now, you missed the boat. Or East to West 28, which means, so I think I got up to 30 because I usually buy comics in groups of 5. So here we got 28. We got Batman. I don't know, man. I don't like these covers. I don't like these covers. East to West 30. I do kind of like the graphic design. East to West. It's like, imagine the future. America's divided up on racial lines. So there's like the black area, the white area, the Asian area. Whoa, so edgy. And yet I'm still buying it because who's the jerk here? So now we got Doug Monish and Kelly Jones era of Batman. We got the Demon over here, foreshadowing what will be happening in a half hour. More estrogen. What do you guys feel about Batman like dealing with mystic stuff? Like, don't you think like Batman is like I always say with Batman that to me there's 4 Batmans. Okay, they did the 3 Jokers, which Chuck Dixon made me realize is kind of bad because he says the Joker reinvents himself every time he shows up. He's an agent of chaos. You don't being inconsistent is the only consistent thing about the Joker. So you don't have to cross your T's, dot your I's. Whatever you do with the Joker is relevant because he's a lunatic. He's like Daffy Duck. He just reinvents himself. But Batman is Golden Age Batman. I'm trying to hold up fingers. Golden Age Batman, Silver Age Batman. Then there's like the I'm gonna call him like the Detective Batman. And then there's like the Bat God, and I despise the Bat God. I don't like it. So my favorite is Detective Batman. I don't particularly like Silver Age Batman. I do like Golden Age Batman, but So, but if in these days, if you're the Bat God, if you're Mr. Contingency Plan, wouldn't you learn magic? You know what I mean? Like, unless in the DC universe, do you have to be born a magician to be a magician? Is that like the excuse? Like, wouldn't Batman learns about science? Wouldn't he learn about magic? Because there's no way he's going to let magicians get the up and up on him that could just change the rules of reality. You know what I mean? If it's just a matter of study. So, I don't know. Okay, East and West 27. How long does Fund My Comic take to approve comic? Like immediately. I'm not gonna say immediately, but a couple of hours. Luke has to Luke Stone. Oh, I imagine it's Luke Stone, maybe somebody else with him, but he approves it. But message him and talk to him that you're going to put a comic on, and he'll guide you through it. He's a pastor, so he's got God on his side. He's got religion and he's got patience. If he could deal with me and my crazy ass, I told you a few times I called him up panicking, and he was calm, cool, helpful. Literally, and if you change it before it goes live, has to get approved again. I changed it before it went live. I didn't realize it. And he was just cool. So message him that you want to use Fund My Comic. Talk to him. He's very and tell him John from John's Long Box has been singing his praises. You know, accommodating. My wife said. What's Zach 10 say? I don't want Batman doing magic, but I don't mind him investigating magic events. Yeah, he's an investigator. He's an investigator. Yeah, so I agree with you there. I like Batman the detective. I don't like Batman the sci-fi guy. I like Batman closest to his pulp detective roots as possible. Forgive me again for keep checking my phone, but every time I hear a buzz, I think it's Mike. You know. What does this comment say? Leave the magic at dark arts to John Constantine, Hourglass Purple. Yeah, I agree. But I wouldn't mind the story every once in a while of Batman stumbling upon like a ritual sacrifice, like a ritual murder and stuff like that. That would be fun. Yeah. So here we got some more Femme Force. The She-Cat Cornered. So here's the Jungle Girl. This is the superhero girl, and this is like the feral She-Cat girl. 1991. What do we got here? More Batman, Sam Keith, and Kelly Jones. Wow, is this both of them together? I don't know. Not a fan of these covers. Not a fan of these covers. Sorry, Sam Keith. I really like the Max. Okay, here's the missing issue of Local Man. That looks pretty interesting. I like this shadow. This is pretty cool. Cool. More Local Man. Here's more Faust, number 8. Look how edgy he is. He's got knives, Like I said, it's well drawn. Tim Vigil, I think is the name of the artist. It's well drawn. I mean, if you want to see entrails and people bleeding out and people getting their throats slit and stuff like that, this is the comic view. But, back in 89 when I was like, punk rock! These comics are punk rock! This was it. They were, And I think a couple of comic stores actually got in trouble for selling these, so these became pretty tough. Where can I talk to him? Message. Go on Twitter and look for either Fund My Comic or Luke Stone, and he keeps his DMs open for everybody. He's a businessman. He wants to get his comics on the website. If you want, message me. DM me, and when I'm done doing all my stuff tonight, I'll send you his information. But he's easy to find. Luke Stone on Twitter, and Fund My Comic on Twitter. Easy to find. It's the same guy. I don't think I'm telling any tales out of school. He owns Fund My Comic. Okay, what do we got here? From what I've gathered from articles and YouTube videos, that Batman is so rational and disciplined that magic was difficult for him. Yeah, the Reed Richards excuse. Reed tried to study magic to deal with Dr. Doom, and it didn't take. It didn't stick. This is a comic that I really, really like. This is Wrong Earth. So there's no magic pixie dust in the. I never said that. He could have a magic wand. He could get one from Zatanna, right? You know, who knows what's in those utility belts? Wrong Earth. This is Ahoy Comics. This is Tom Pyre. And well, this one's not drawn by Jamal Agel, but Jamal Agel draws the regular. And what it is just imagine the Neil Adams Batman travels to the Adam West Batman world, and it's just a blast. It's just a fun comic to explore. So you got Dragonfly Man, you know, the Silver Age Dragonfly Man meeting the Modern Age Dragonfly Man, and then they went and they met like an extreme 90s version of Dragonfly Man. It's pretty funny. Yes, it's playing with the multiverse tropes, but that's the whole point. You know what I mean? But so just imagine you're grim and gritty and you're trapped in a wholesome Adam West world. You know what I mean? And then even worse was the Adam West guy was trapped in a grim and gritty world where like his sidekick was like addicted to drugs and everything like that, and he was just like, you know, like Howard the Duck trapped in a world that he didn't make. So now we got more Faust, Act 9, Love of the Damned. You know, you got Heinies over here. You know, like I said, I as long as you know what you're getting, I don't have a problem. You know what I mean? Like if you know you're getting, you know, if you're buying Love and Rockets and there's a booby in Love and Rockets and there's a curse word love, you knew that going in. But if you're getting Spider-Man and then all of a sudden you're getting like weird sexualities and stuff like that, that's inappropriate. You know, like if you're an adult and you want to go to the drag shows, that's fine, but it's not for kids. You know, and never the train shall meet kind of thing. Mighty Barbarians. I read issue number 1. I think I read issue number 2, but this issue I was obviously missing, so I couldn't continue with the story. I'm liking it. It's just like it's like a group of established IP barbarians. So it's like Kull. It's not Conan, but there's other like Anansi the Spider from Africa. They're all, you know, so it's like a league of extraordinary barbarians. You know, it is what it is. But that kind of stuff is winning me over more east of west. Oh, more Local Man. Again, I ordered this and it showed up, and then I started fulfilling, so I didn't even want to open it and be tempted. So this was his 90s costume. Oh, where are we? Yeah, there's just back shark repellent. Tim Vigil is an amazing artist. Absolutely. He's a great artist. You know, I don't, you know, that comic came out 30 years ago. I don't know if he's still, it's like, you know, if you're into like that Rotting Eddie and those edgy comics, you know, but like I said, back then I was into stuff I'm not interested in anymore. So I got a notification that John's Long Box is going to do clobbering time in 30 minutes. So I'll probably switch over to that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's more fun anyway. Question: would it be that the writers lean so heavily on the not having powers thing that unintentionally Batman became this all-encompassing, all-knowing, can't-fail super parrot? I'm gonna say it was Grant Morrison that turned him into the Bat God, and that sold. You know, Grant Morrison is I love Grant Morrison. He's a great writer. He comes at you from like a completely different angle. I really like the JLA, and to be honest, that super contingency Batman guy kind of fit JLA, but like super contingency guy doesn't work when you deal with guys stealing TVs and bank robberies and muggers, you know. So I don't know. I like loner Batman. I want Batman to be, you know, a mystery in the dark, not hanging out with the Flash and Green Lantern. But DC's got to do what DC's got to do. So I can't argue. What's that?
Brooding Batman.
My wife says she likes brooding Batman. Yeah. Over the time, writers kept leaning into the hole with time and preparation. Yeah, I love that. Can't be beat because he's always 10 steps ahead. It's just a question of, yeah, I don't like that. If you notice, it's one of the reasons why I do It's Clobbering Time show, because why does Batman why does he the only one who gets prep time? You know, Spider-Man, Peter Parker, if he gets prep time, he could take out Galactus. You know what I mean? If you know, Ben Grimm is not a dummy. You know, Ben Grimm, if he gets a plan, he could take out anybody. You know, so yeah, I don't like that Batman's the only one allowed to plan. We all know that the good guy's going to win. The trick is making it satisfying. Yeah, yeah. That's the Andy Ryan argument. For Andy Ryan, is a guy I went to school with in 6th grade, and I used to bring my comic books to school. We were all reading the Chris Claremont, John Byrne X-Men, and I was like, Andy, you want to read a comic? He's like, nah. I'm like, what do you mean you don't want to read a comic book? What do we? He's like, the good guys are going to win. What's the point? And I was like, I didn't have the words to articulate why he was wrong. But yeah, it's not the destination, it's the journey, Levi Skin, yes, Tim Vigil's still around. He went through a Frazetta stage in or he did a ton of. Oh wow, I should look that up. That sounds interesting. You know who I would love to have on this channel is Mark Schultz. I got to start seeing if I can get Mark Schultz. Or Mighty Barbarians. So this is number 2. Okay, so I only read the first issue. Before superheroes, before it all stood the Mighty Barbarians. So this is, like I said, League of Extraordinary Giants Barbarian style. I liked it enough that I'm getting the missing issues. Oh, messages. Okay, nope, nothing from Mike Barron. Ironically, I just got a message from Luke Stone. So there you go. Miracle Man Annual. Miracle Man is one of Alan Moore's greatest comics. It is so good. I don't know if it holds up because at the time it was groundbreaking. Now it's probably like passe. But Alan Moore did it first. It was taking like a happy-go-lucky Captain Marvel type character and then making him grim and gritty. At the time, it was great. But then again, when you're the first person to do it, I really, really liked it. Now, the problem is it ended on a cliffhanger. For 30 years, I'm trying to get the next issue. So every once in a while, I look to see, did somebody put out that last issue? It's been 30 years for a cliffhanger. So I saw this as a Miracle Man that I don't have. But this is Marvel. I don't know how Marvel ended up with the rights to Miracle Man. But it's got some Grant Morrison. So this isn't the missing issue 25 of Miracle Man, but it's new Miracle Man that I haven't read yet. So here we got some more Batman, Doug Munch, somebody in a moment of swift, sudden vengeance. This is kind of interesting. This is a serial killer who takes on the life of the people that he kills. So if he kills a postman, like he dresses up like a postman and everything like that. It's kind of interesting. I don't know if it's a throwaway villain. Oh, here's Fire and Ice 2. This is Michael Linzer cover. Look at that. That is cool. Michael Linzer. What I like about him is I know he does cheesecake drawing too, but he just draws like beautiful, classy women. Just look at that. I mean, it's sexy without being over the top. I really like that. Really like that a lot. I have always been a fan of his art, even though I did read a little bit of Dawn. That was his breakout character. So, for example, over time, writers get away from Peter Parker. But yeah, Peter Parker was a genius. Peter Parker is a genius. The problem with Peter Parker is he's straight out of Low Cash. If anybody gets that reference, hey, we got Matt Barr over here. Matt, well, this goes to anybody, but open invite. Although at 8:30, I'm going to switch over to It's Clobbering Time. And Marcus Kellegrew, who's been my lovely assistant, my co-host, he's on an airplane right now, so I'm going to need somebody to come. Okay, this is Elektra. This series, I bought it. I think I stopped because I just quit Marvel cold turkey. This series was actually pretty good. There was one issue that I really, really liked. I don't want to talk about it because it actually inspired an idea that I'd like to do for Heroic Tales. Alice Never After. This is Dan Panosian. There's Alice Ever After, and then the sequel is Alice Never After. I haven't read either one of them yet, but it's Dan Panosian artwork, so I'm getting it. I do like that tasteful beauty, and I dare say sexiness without being over the top of graphic. He has been known to be graphic a few times, but in that particular instance, it's classic. So here's more Faust. You can see that, when you open, because this is a little lip. When you open this up, you're going to see the nudity, but over here is like a nice subtle hint. This is kind of classy. I don't know what's going to happen when you open it up. I'm speeding it up a little bit. Chuck Dixon, Norm Brayfogle. Yeah, I can't wait to read these. Can't wait to read that. Look at this. Now, just imagine if this came out in a Comicsgate comic right now, how people would be picking apart this. You don't know how to draw. You don't know how to draw that. Yeah. I don't want to hear those arguments anymore. I'm just so tired of those arguments. You know, this, you know, if everybody drew perfectly, we would just have photorealistic comic books, and that's boring too. It's the imperfections that create your style. You know, I'm tired of those. Unless you draw a horse so bad that it's, yeah, but that's besides the point. All right, we got some more Chuck Dixon, Tom Mandrake. Ooh, I love Tom Mandrake. This just how does Batman? All these machine guns, blah, 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 all he does is just duck. this is plot armor in graphic format right here. This is Sam Keith doing the color art. Oh wow! Real Science Adventures. The $1 billion plot. Oh, I love this. Might go to the top of the pile. What this is there was a comic called Atomic Robo. Atomic Robo being the premise is he was a robot created by Tesla, and he's like the first artificial intelligence that like became like really alive kind of thing. He's like a Pinocchio. He wants to be a real boy. So good, and they just disappeared. I guess it didn't sell too well, but this was a spinoff. So Atomic Robo was created in like the 1919. Like around there, 1920, 25, somewhere around there. I forget the exact year. And he had a team of operatives, like the best scientists, like kind of like the Shadow or Doc Savage. And these are the Real Science event. These are like stories of his operatives. I just love them. You know, it's cartoony, but you know, I just really, really like them. Okay, here's more Faust. So I think I got up to 10. I think I finished the original run. So you can see edgy Krampus looking demon just eating corpses and everything. Yep. And here's more. Look at that. Here's Faust just shredding people. And then Femforce. Problem with Femforce is once they got like a good artist, they immediately left for greener pastures. So they were always like, you know, new art teams. Oh, this is Dick Ayers. So classic, yeah, he would hire a lot of classic artists too. So there you go. I'm just gonna bring us up to speed with the chat, and then I'm gonna end. And I got to retitle this because it's not fair for people who think, oh, Mike Byron, and then it's just my ugly mug, blathering away. Fiskers, only Gen X and older could actually appreciate that. What does that mean? Fiskers. I'm learning all these new terms now, man. I'm young. I'm hip. I learned Sigma. Now I'm learning Fiskers. What does that mean? Some people swear by Rob Liefeld, even though we can't draw human anatomy. Yes. I don't like Rob Liefeld's art. I like Rob Liefeld. I like him as a person. He's a guy who took the slings and arrows and just still comes out as a positive, enthusiastic comic book person. I feel like I owe him an apology, but I just don't like his art. I really don't. And it's just funny because I was just asking Renzo if he could do a Rob Liefeld style for a backup story set in 1999. It's going to deal with the what's it called, the Y2K, you know. And I think it just would be funny to have like a Renzo or a Rob Liefeld-esque. And it was funny because Renzo replied, he goes, you know, I despise that art, but now I think it's kind of charming and it would be fun to do. So we both had this hero's journey about Rob Liefeld's art. I think the original Faust run was 14 issues. Okay, I gotta look. The name on your mat, John Fiskers. Oh, still makes shears and scissors. That mat you're using is for cutting cloth using a Fiskers. Oh, okay. Yeah, I got this because this is like a self-repairing mat because I every once in a while I would take out like game pieces and I would 3D print stuff and put them together, and sometimes like they would come on sprues and I would have to cut them and glue them together. So I had like a little razor knife that I was working on this just to protect my desk, and it's easy to clean even though I haven't cleaned it, as you can see. So That's why this is here. I threw away my other one because it just got filthy. But all right, I'm gonna go. I got 14 minutes till it's clobbering time. As always, it's clobbering time is open invite, so everybody's welcome to join. And that's all I got to say. Those are some fine looking ladies of FemForce. Yeah, yep. That's the whole selling point. You measure and cut cloth using shears or a razor blade. Yep. And this is each box is a square inch, and that's how I measured my coin. As you can see, my coin is a square inch. The challenge coin is 2 square inches. So things like that. So it does have practical uses. So thanks a lot, everybody. I'll see you guys in 15 minutes. I apologize about Mike Barron. If I wonder if he's with somebody else or did he just forget? So all right, we're gonna end.